The severe gaggers can be extremely challenging because their fear is high, they're uncomfortable, they're stressed. You know, a statistic says that a severe gagger gets their teeth cleaned once every 3 years. No Gag is a very simple half a gram of powder. When you dump on the top anterior third of the tongue, the patient waits 10 seconds, you swallow, and the gag reflex is gone for a minimum of an hour. This is a disaster recovery product, really isn't its intent. It's very inexpensive. It actually economically makes way more sense than all the things that occur to actually try to deal with a gagger.
Hey everybody, welcome back into another edition of the Dental Assistant Nation podcast. We are live in Cologne, Germany at the IDS Dental Show. Now after this, you're going to hear my thoughts on the trends I saw here and some other things like that because I want you to get a feel for this amazing dental show. Before we get into that, I want to make sure that I introduce you to Rodney Schutt. He's with No Gag. Rodney, what's up, man?
Hey, thanks for having me. It's been a great trade show. They say it's the largest dental trade show in the world, and I believe it.
Well, so we're standing here in front of your booth in one of the massive halls here in Cologne. What's the vibe you get? I mean, tell our American audience just what you're seeing at this show.
Well, as we had talked about earlier, I've been going to trade shows almost 39 years now, and you hear, oh, this is the largest trade show in the world. Well, I believe it. It is crazy busy every day, everything from dental technicians to dental assistants to dentists to distributors, looking for new partnerships, new solutions, products. So it's been very engaging for us across all fronts. And, everybody's, you think about this in kind of two different ways. We'll always talk about patient first,
Yep.
oral health care. And then we think about, what does it mean to the dental hygienist and the dentist as we think about delivering great procedures. And then we think about the economics of, a great dental practice. If they're going to continue to give world-class oral health care, they obviously need to make money, and they look for new products that fits into the workflow and solves, we come at things that, how do we provide products or solutions that solve decade-old unmet needs? And of course, our product's No Gag, which it's exactly what it says. It blocks the gag reflex.
Hey, all right. Now I wanted you to get into what No Gag is. What do dental assistants need to know about? And then we're going to get some tips from you about that gag reflex that I know they deal with so much.
Typically, the dental assistant is the one that is first hands-on with the patient, putting them in the chair, getting them prepped for the procedure. And they certainly are the first line of defense on individuals that suffer with even a mild to moderate gag reflex. And certainly the severe gaggers can be extremely challenging because their fear is high, they're uncomfortable, they're stressed. A statistic says that a severe gagger gets their teeth cleaned once every 3 years. So that they're not coming to get oral health care unless they really have to.
Yeah.
And obviously the goal is to get them there more frequently because we all know oral health care left untreated leads to long-term overall well-being and your overall health. So the dental hygienist is there trying to manage the patient, their stress level, and No Gag is a very simple half a gram of powder, a proprietary precision blended powder that when you dump on the top anterior third of the tongue before you start any dental procedure, the patient waits 10 seconds, you swallow, and the gag reflex is gone for a minimum of an hour.
There you go.
So,
I mean, yeah, that's pretty magical, to be honest with you.
and if you think about stress, not only on the patient, but the dental hygienist and the dentist and the practice as a whole, when you have a mild to moderate gagger, not to mention a severe gagger, you know for sure that the schedule is going to get pushed because that 30-minute procedure is now turned into 45, maybe an hour.
Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely.
Not to mention the mental state and the uncomfortableness of the patient.
Well, and I'm glad you said that because, you and I have talked about how stressful it is to know that that's a gagger in the chair, not only for the patient, but for the assistant, for the dentist. So is it just a matter of the assistant being very open and honest, saying, do you have this gag reflex? What can we do about it? And really tackling it from the start.
Yeah, that is a great question. And some of our best partners, early adopters, we talk about the severe gagger, and every practice knows they're severe gaggers. This is a disaster recovery product, really isn't its intent. It can be used that way.
Yeah.
But our best partners actually have signs up in their lobby simple little 3 or 4 question survey that says, what's your fear of the gag reflex today? How nervous are you? How uncomfortable are you?
Okay.
So trying to identify before they actually get in the chair.
Yeah.
For some folks it's embarrassing.
Yeah.
So the tool here, it should be preventative.
Yeah.
It's very inexpensive. It actually economically makes way more sense than all the things that occur to actually try to deal with a gagger.
Yeah.
Right? Did you take your Valium before you came in? Nitrous, anesthesia, right? So all those things erode the margin of the procedure. And again, no gag is very inexpensive. And the best practices are those practices that actually use it proactively.
And one thing you told me when we talked last was, and I never thought about this, the gag reflex that impacts them at home as well. It's not like it's just in the practice and the oral health care that could be harmed just because they can't do it at home either.
So recent learnings on our part. So through our website, we've now been asking patients, because you can say direct to consumer, you can say direct to patient, direct to dentist. They're all the same people, right? If you're a consumer, you're still a dental patient.
Yeah.
If you're a dental patient, you're still a consumer. So we've started to ask over the last 60 days, why are you purchasing No Gag?
Yeah.
And I won't say surprising, but almost 40% of the people tell us that they're buying it for home oral care. Meaning that they struggle to brush their teeth and floss at home.
Interesting.
Right? And almost 10% tell us they're buying it because they struggle swallowing life-saving medications for, like, unfortunately, cancer, neuro, cardiac.
Yeah.
Right? So it really is, if you're struggling with gagging, there's a home oral healthcare challenge they face as well.
So tell our listeners where they can learn more about no gag and get some tips maybe on how to help get their patients past the gag reflex.
Please visit www.nogag.com. It's a rich website for dentists, for hygienists, for patients. Everything you want to know about No Gag is there on the website. Please come visit.
Yep.
We really feel like, No Gag, smart, simple, solves a decades old unmet need.
There you go. Rodney, thanks so much for the time, man. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Absolutely. And hey, dental assistants, we're going to be right back with my thoughts on IDS and what you need to know about this amazing. So stay tuned right after this.
Join us at CE on the Beach, June 26th to 28th, 2025, at the stunning Westin Grand Cayman Resort and Spa. This is the ultimate destination event for dentists, teams, coaches, and speakers. Save your spot now and get $150 off with promo code KHENRY. Visit ceonthebeach.com to register today.
Hey, dental assistants, welcome back. Appreciate you sticking with us here as we do this two-parter in Cologne, Germany at the IDS meeting. I wanted to share with you some things that I saw time and time and time again while I was over here in Cologne, because I think the trends that we're seeing on a worldwide level are going to be instituted in every part of the world by these manufacturers, by these dealers, by the people who supply you with the things that you use every day in the dental practice. So by knowing what they're thinking and what they're pushing down to you, then I think it helps you understand what you can do in the practice and what you could be expecting, not only for the rest of 2025, but honestly, a lot of things that I saw here in Cologne were what you'll see in 2026 and 2027. So this isn't just about right now. This is about the future. So I want to share 3 trends with you. The first, and this is probably not going to be a surprise to you in any way, shape, or form, but it is artificial intelligence. And the role that AI is going to play in dentistry, I think, is something that we as an industry and we as dental assistants need to understand how it's going to impact things. Now, it's being used as a tool. Let's start with this. It's being used as a tool to help in everything from radiographs to insurance verification to, chatting with patients online. There's a lot of different ways that AI is being used. And most of the things that I saw over here in terms of AI as a product is adding on. And time again, I saw this with Align. I saw this with iTero. AI is going to be used to help you with patient communication as well as to actually do a lot of treatment planning. And, a lot of times it used to be where we would show a radiograph to a dental patient and expect that picture to tell a story. Now we're going to be showing them smile design using AI so that they can actually see what their smile would look like, and not just like while they're smiling. One of the amazing things I saw online yesterday was the fact that they were doing videos with people with these new teeth that didn't exist, but they were proposing, of course. But these new teeth and people laughing and talking and looking sideways and doing all these different things, and the teeth stayed in the mouth. They didn't, fuzz out or anything else if they turned to the side or laughed or tilted their head. So it was a very powerful tool. And I think it's something that the more that we see that coming into the industry, the more that we're going to see patients really wanting to go ahead with treatment planning. So many of you talk to your patients about what comes next. So many of you talk to them about why they need to have their mouths restored or why an implant needs to happen or whatever that is. AI is going to become a big part of that. So just get ready. Also, a big conversation around AI here is that as a dental industry, we're worried about, are people going to start saying, well, why do I really need to do anything whenever I know AI is going to take care of it? There's a lot of scanning that goes on. There's a lot of radiographs that go on that are relying on AI right now. And there's a worry out there that people are going to, instead of reading the radiograph for themselves, they're going to let AI do it and then just take over from there. And I think it falls to some of the things that we're seeing in society right now, where there are questions coming from children in school saying, why do I need to learn math when all I have to do is ask Siri or just get out my phone and use the calculator? So there's a lot of different things out there that I think are going on that are having people ask the question, what is AI really doing? Now, it's not a fear factor thing. It's not a Skynet thing like Terminator, if you've seen those movies, but it's very much, are we relying too much on AI? So that's a question that's being asked right now. And I think it's a question that's going to shape dentistry for a little bit here. So dental assistants, I want you to know about this. The second thing that I heard a lot, time and time again over here, was about workflow. Now, whenever I say workflow, a lot of you will think of the digital workflow in the practice and everything that we have heard for years about the digital workflow and why it's important and everything else. This is more about product workflow. And it goes into the third point I'm going to make here in just a minute, so hang with me on this. But product workflow has become a focal point for so many practices, or I should say so many companies exhibiting here at IDS. And again, the messaging I'm hearing here in Cologne, you're going to be hearing very soon in the United States. So just be prepared for this. But companies are saying, look, you don't need to buy any other products outside of ours, because here's how all of our products fit together. This was a theme with the Henry Schein press conference that I attended, where why would you need to do anything outside of this realm? Why make things harder for yourself? There was a theme at Align. It was a theme at GC. There was a lot of themes about whenever you're working with products, instead of mixing and matching, working with a company that can provide everything from start to finish. And so you're going to hear a lot about workflow. You're going to hear a lot about efficiency. You're going to hear a lot about how things work together. Now, for some of you who do the ordering in your practice, this is going to be a theme where you're going to start hearing from your sales rep, where they may start pushing you away from mixing and matching and trying this cement with this material or whatever it might be, and staying in the same family. So I just wanted you to know that, because I know a lot of you have your preferences. A lot of your doctors have their own preferences as well, but you're going to start hearing about a workflow from every company and about how that you need to just be working with their products. Now, obviously that's up to you, but I will tell you, a lot of the products that were introduced here at IDS were introduced because they were part of an internal workflow from a certain company. So again, just important for you to keep in mind. The third theme that I heard here, and I think it ties right into what I was just saying, is about simplicity. Look, dental manufacturers have gotten the message from dentists and from team members. They understand that almost they're being bombarded with new stuff and this and that. And there's so much that they are being asked to try or do that they're not really taking the time to figure out what's best for them, because they're constantly switching things over. So one of the themes that was introduced time and time again over here was about simplicity. And I'll give you a perfect example. So Ivoclar has come out with a tetric material, and the shading in this tetric material has been boiled down to 4 shades. Now, it is actually cutting in on a product that they have that has more than 20 shades. But they realized that for you all to try to figure out which of those 20 shades was exactly perfect was taking up so much time. It was confusing. So what they did is they boiled a lot of the shades down together into 4, saying you can use this and, it'll make a lot more easier. It's going to be a lot better. And they truly believe that those 4 shades can do the job of the 22. So that's an idea of what we're talking about here whenever it comes to simplicity. Manufacturers are looking at what is the easiest thing for you, the dental assistant, what is the easiest thing to have in the practice for the dentist, to make sure that not only are you being as efficient as possible in the practice, but also that you're not confused. So many of you, let's be honest, there's a lot of you listening to this right now that are brand new to the dental industry, and we're so glad to have you. And there's a big learning curve with coming into this industry. And for some of you, it's like drinking out of a fire hose, trying to learn everything. So dental manufacturers understand this. So part of the staffing shortage problems that they're trying to address are with the new people coming in and trying to not overwhelm them with information, but yet make things very simple for them. And I think that is fantastic. So anyway, those are the 3 themes that I've heard, and I just wanted to let you know those 3 themes, and I think that's very important, again, not just for right now, but for what's to come in the near future for your careers. Now, if you want to learn more about what I saw at IDS, certainly I encourage you, I'm the editor-in-chief for drbicuspid.com. I encourage you to go over to drbicuspid.com and search for IDS, and you'll see all the notebooks that I wrote over here with some of the new products, some of the new things that I found very interesting, as well as some of the interviews that I did. Obviously, I hope that dental assistants, you'll find this very interesting. Obviously, I wrote this for the entire team, including the dentist, but I always have you in mind whenever I'm doing something at Dr. Bicuspid. So there's a lot of good stuff on drbicuspid.com for you to check out as well. So thanks for listening to this episode. Again, a 2-parter. I enjoyed the interview with Rodney. I hope you learned a little bit about the Gag Reflex and some options that are available, as well as some of the themes that I saw here in Cologne. I will be on vacation here in Europe for a little bit of time, but you're going to be hearing another great episode coming up next week while I'm here overseas, and then I'll be back in the U.S. I cannot wait to be at the Star of the North dental meeting. If you're going to be in Minneapolis, please come by and say hello. Or also, if you're going to be at the Oklahoma dental meeting, I can't wait to be back in my hometown of Tulsa, Oklahoma, lecturing to the great dental assistants there. So those are my 2 meetings in April, and I would love to see you at either of those. If you're going to be in Oklahoma or the Twin Cities, I hope to see you there. But as always, check out dentalassistantnation.com. We have a brand new website with all of the past episodes of DA Nation. I want to make sure that you are equipped to not only have a great day, but to have a great career as well. So, auf Wiedersehen from Cologne, Germany. And until next time, it's Kevin Henry, the founder of Dental Assistant Nation, signing off. And as always, yes, wishing you nothing but success ahead.